Hi, class. It's Dr. Lindner. Welcome to A&P1. So what I'd like to do is to get you comfortable with the course and give you an idea as to how things navigate in the course and what your responsibilities are. Okay. So when you get into the course content up on the top left, you'll see it says course content. There is Meet the Instructor. So if you click on that, it'll tell you about me. There's a little video there, I believe, plus my office hours, whatnot. When you click on the syllabus, you'll see, you click on that right there, syllabus, and it should be a link that you click that opens up. And there you go. Let me just make it a little bit larger. So this is 2085, which is A&P1. 2086 would be A&P2. You see that it's 4 credits. And let me just scroll down a little bit here. So each week there's going to be a test, which is a lockdown browser exam. There are 3 discussion board posts each week. There's laboratory quizzes each week, and then a post exam. So if you look at the breakdown, lockdown browser exam 1, 2, 3, and 4, there are 4 exams, 1 each week, is 60% of the total weight of the course. The discussion board posts, which are 3 posts each week, an initial post based on a bunch of topics that'll be presented to you. And the formatting is also explained in one of my announcement messages. So there's initial post, and then you're reading your class's posts, and on their post, there'll be a thoughtful question that they may pose to the class. You can then answer 2 of your classmates' questions if they haven't been answered. And again, the proper formatting for that will be explained in the announcement messages. Each week, there is a lockdown browser. Each week there is a Connect quiz in McGraw-Hill Connect. And at the end of week 4, there's a post test that counts as 5%. So when you add that up, that's a total of 100%. In week 1, there's a pre-test that doesn't count towards your grade, and the pre-test and post-test are pretty similar. It's pretty much trying to say, what type of knowledge do you have coming in the course? That's the pre-test. And at the very end, what type of knowledge do you have completing it at the end? All right. Here's the grading. In order to earn an A, it's 90 to 100, a B, 80 to 89.99, etc. Okay, so that's a little bit on the syllabus. Let's go back out. Here's the introduction forum. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to the class, you'll click on that. It'll take you to the discussion board, but specifically designed for the introduction. When you click on Ask Questions, again, that'll be a discussion board where all of your classmates get to see, and you can put your question there, and your classmates or I can then answer it. I think that's, as long as it's not something personal, like, hey, Doc, I missed the quiz, or hey, Doc, I wouldn't put any personal information, but if you have a general question about the course, why not ask it there and have the rest of the class learn from something maybe you don't understand? Okay. Getting started. You'll click on Getting Started, and you will just follow that flow. So let's click on here. See if we can get this to open up. There we go. Whoop, let me click it again. Come on, open up. There we go. So again, here's the course objective and book information is here. Tech support, complete these items, right? Just go right down the line. Certificate and syllabus acknowledgement, make sure you do that. There's your pre-test. Here is some information on how to register for McGraw, but you'll see right here, click on the table of contents to start the registration process for Connect Access. So you'll do that here. There's your lockdown browser download instructions. So you'll want to do that so that you want to make sure the lockdown browser works. Otherwise, it won't allow you to take any of the exams. How do I earn an A? Blah, blah, blah. Effective communication, how to communicate with me, right? When you send an email, hi, Dr. Lindner, this is so and so, right? Just don't get in there and ask you a question. There is a proper etiquette and mannerisms that apply to online learning. Okay. Okay, tools and resources. This is a really nice place for students. Here are some student resources. This is where you'll access our Keiser Live class. So typically Monday nights and Tuesday nights, or Monday and Wednesday, I'll always send out announcements to let you guys know. I will always do 2 classes during the week, usually 45 minutes each, and I'll send out an email as to when we will have them. It's usually 7 to 7:45, Mondays and Tuesdays, or Mondays and Wednesdays. I'll always give you a heads up on that. Online support, technology resources. If you need writing help, there's your tutor.com assistance, APA formatting if you need some help. Then we get right into it. Week 1. So when you click on week 1, it'll give you a little understanding as to what we'll be talking about. Here's an overview. If you click on that, an overview of what you'll be covering, and it gives you an estimate as to about how much time each thing is. Here's the Keiser Live link that you can use. Lockdown browser instructions, complete day 1. There's your quiz. There's your lockdown browser like practice quiz. Okay. Doesn't count for anything, but you need to complete it to make sure that you properly downloaded the lockdown browser, so that when you take the lockdown browser exam in week 1 exam requires the lockdown browser, it'll work. Okay. What else do we have in week 1? Week 1, besides the downloading, you want to make sure that you're registered in Connect. Here's the discussions. So when you click on the discussions, it'll tell you what the expectations are. There's 3 posts on 3 different days. Your initial post should be at least 100 words, which is very easy to do. And then the 2 additional posts need to be 200 words each. Can't use AI for that. You'll see why. They're always due Sunday prior to midnight. Anything late will not be accepted. When you click on this, let's make sure this opens. It'll give you, again, the instructions for the discussion board. You'll see that right here, 3 posts. The first one's got to be 100 words. The 2 responses have to be 200 words each, done on 3 separate days. 0 is given if you use artificial intelligence. The topics for the initial post. So when you click here, week 1 discussion, it tells you right there, if you download the original file, you'll see 30 or 40 different topics. You'll post your topic by name plus the number, so you know it's already been taken and utilized. And you can use a research and critical thinking model, and I'll show you what that looks like. In addition to teaching the concept, right, you'll kind of learn about it. You're going to organize and explain some of the key points as if you were the teacher to your students. And I think organizing it in like a show and tell sort of thing, or a critical thinking, a research and critical thinking template works nice. And then at the end, you'll pose a thoughtful question to your classmates. When I read the discussion board posts, if I was the student, I'm going to address and answer and respond to 2 classmates' questions, as long as they haven't been answered yet. Okay. And I'll show you what that looks like. It's in one of the announcement messages, okay, as to the formatting of that. I'll show you. Let me see if I can get out of this. Okay. So if I go to announcements on the top, I'm just going to go towards, let's see if I can find it here. I think it's the discussion week one. Maybe it's this one. Let's see. No, it's not that one. Let me go back. Um, huh. Let's see. Maybe it is here. Nope, it's not there. Hmm. Ah, here it is. Discussion board formatting. Sorry, it took me a second to find it. So you're going to get an announcement message that talks about how to post on the discussion board. So there's always an initial post and two replies. So this is the type of formatting. You could use research and critical thinking, or you could use a show and tell model. So you can see here, here's a topic about 4 hormones, so pregnancy. There's a research section and a critical thinking and references with the word count. Here's one on the pituitary gland. Here's research and critical thinking. Here's the word count. See, well above 200 words with references. So there's always 3 parts: research, critical thinking, and references. Okay. So this is for the teaching part, right? Your initial post will have research and critical thinking. For the responses to your classmates' questions, you could use a research and critical thinking approach, which is the same as the initial, or you can use a tell and show, right? So here was the question that they're answering with a tell and show. Same thing, word count and reference. Here's one on levers, research and critical thinking with the word count. All right. So it isn't too difficult. It's very structured. It's very organized. And you can see you can't really use AI when you're doing critical thinking. It should be very personalized. We can all tell when someone uses AI. We know what robotic posts look like, right? All right, let me go back to the main content again. We are on week 1. So we talked about the discussion. So each week there are 3 discussion board posts on 3 different days. There is an APR virtual anatomy module. It'll tell you what you'll be covering. And this helps you prep for the quiz. Okay, each week there is a quiz. So you see, week 1, body orientation, cells, chemistry. You're tested on the structures that's assigned in the APR module each week. You must complete all the different quiz activities. So each week, I think there's about 2 quizzes. So make sure you submit and complete each one. If you do only 1 quiz and there's 2, even if you get 100 on 1, the average will be a 50. So don't say, Doc, why did I get a 50? You only did half the work. So please keep in mind each week there's usually 2 quizzes. Okay. And I think there's unlimited attempts. So if you get a 70 and you want to redo it, you have to redo both quizzes. Okay. You can't just do one. All right. So just keep that in mind. Okay. What else do we have? Here's the lockdown browser exam, and here's the extra credit. Okay, so each week there's 3 requirements. each week 3 requirements that get graded. There's the 3 discussion board posts. There's the lockdown browser exam. There's the Connect quiz, McGraw-Hill Connect quiz, usually 2 each week. Okay. Optional is this extra credit. Now, if you do all the extra credit for week 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you get hundreds on all of them, which students can do, you can earn 2 additional points that get added to your final average. But they have to be done each week. If you have a 68 average week 4, you can't say, hey, Dr. Lindner, could you open up the extra credit so I can do it now? Doesn't work that way. Weeks 1 extra credit closes and locks based on the publisher's guidelines. They close at 11:59 p.m. and 59 seconds. So if you choose to do it, I think it's a wise idea. It gives you the buffer. So if you have a 69 average, I can't bump you up to a 70. But if you have a 69 average and you've done the extra credits, that's 2 additional points. You have earned a 71. You've gone from a D to a C in the class. Okay. So that's how it works. Same thing for week 2, same thing for week 3, and the same thing for week 4. There's an overview. There's the Keiser Live. The resource library is excellent, has lots of little video tutorials there on a variety of topics. Your 3 discussion board posts, the Connect quiz exercises that you'll do, and the lockdown browser exam for week 2. And then there's the extra credit. For week 3 and week 4, the exact same flow. 3 discussion board posts, a lockdown browser exam, Connect quiz. Those are requirements. The extra credit in McGraw-Hill Connect is obviously optional. And keep in mind, again, in week 4, the only difference in week 4 is you, on top of everything else, there's the post test that counts as 5%. Okay, pretty straightforward, everyone. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the ask question section of the course. I do all my grading typically very, very late Sunday night to early Monday morning. If you've finished with your discussion board post and you've done all 3, I grade early. I grade throughout the week. So if I see you're completed, I'll add your grade in nice and early. I do comment on the discussion board itself. You'll see sometimes I pop in videos to help you learn. Many times I'll just put my critique as to what would make your post a little bit more thorough and detailed, or make a little bit more of a better teaching tool for your classmates. I do that to just about everyone. Okay, at least on 1 post for each student every week. Sometimes I do 2 posts for each student each week, but I am going through all the discussion board posts and I am critiquing them. You can be sure of that. All right. So I hope you enjoy the course. I hope you enjoy my teaching style. I will always send announcements out every single week. You'll have the recordings of my Keiser Live. The Keiser Live sessions are optional. They are not required. And Monday night at 8:30, I'll always send out an announcement of the recordings from my YouTube channel. I do have a YouTube channel. You'll find it in my announcement messages. Okay, so if you need to work ahead, you certainly can. Okay, everyone, your success is my success. I hope you enjoy my teaching philosophy. I am student-centered. I'm here to encourage my students and to bring out the very, very best of them. Okay.